Starting from the 14th century, Europe gradually emerged from the darkness of the Middle Ages and entered an era of liberation, the Renaissance. This period not only liberated human intelligence, art, rights, and economy, but also sexual freedom. While the sensual excesses of the Renaissance are seldom mentioned, the reality is that countless ordinary European girls became prostitutes during this era, following in their mothers' footsteps without shame, happily mingling with strangers. The most elite courtesans enjoyed statuses and incomes comparable to those of high-ranking noblewomen. The Renaissance initially began in Italy and swept across Europe over the next 2 centuries. In Venice, there was a famous courtesan named Veronica, a natural beauty. Introduced to the profession by her mother and taught the arts by her brothers, she grew up to possess both beauty and talent, attracting countless wealthy suitors like an international celebrity. As a courtesan, she entertained almost all the prominent nobles, intellectuals, and the most famous artists and writers of 16th century Europe. Renowned Italian painter Titian, the influential literary salon host Domenico, and King Henry III of France were all captivated by her. This was the life of top courtesans. They were surrounded by society's elites, including kings, nobles, and high-ranking church officials. These premier courtesans were often the cultural epicenters of the Renaissance, possessing beauty and refined knowledge that inspired countless artists and earned them the title Venus. They also amassed great wealth. But what was life like for ordinary prostitutes? In Europe at that time, the number of prostitutes was difficult to estimate because they were everywhere. Typically, there were at least 2 brothels on any given street, with even more in large cities. In everyday life, the role of prostitutes was to create a joyous atmosphere. They offered flowers, served drinks, sang, and danced at festivals and banquets. They posed as models for artists, served as companions for important officials and dignitaries, and as night fell, they retreated into rooms to enjoy temporary romances. Did the countries at that time just let such decadence run rampant? Why didn't they do something about it? Actually, Europe was just emerging from the dark, ascetic Middle Ages, and the liberation of human nature led to an inevitable period of excess. It was like how a starving person would ravenously devour food. Besides this factor, there were other complex reasons. For instance, people believed that the existence of prostitutes helped maintain stable marriages and protected respectable women from harassment and children and virgins from harm. Thus, prostitutes earned the title of guardian goddesses. On the other hand, prostitutes were an indispensable part of the military. These camp followers were known as camp prostitutes and were present in large numbers in the armies of Europe. In addition to singing and dancing in the camps, they had many other duties. They also served as entertainers, cooks, quartermasters, and nurses, providing the only source of amusement for soldiers. Their role was indeed challenging and multifaceted. Another important factor was the economy. Did prostitutes have to pay taxes? Absolutely. The taxes on prostitutes were extremely heavy, making them almost a pillar of official revenue, which is both amusing and sad. Brothel owners had to pay a substantial amount for licenses to operate, and prostitutes themselves had to pay taxes to various authorities. The church, in particular, was notorious for this, with many clergy members living off the exploitation of prostitutes. Light always dances with darkness. There's no such thing as pure good. The significance and influence of the Renaissance need no elaboration. It benefited all of humanity. But these unknown dark aspects quietly lie in history, waiting to be discovered.